Hello and welcome to Oakland Creates. This afternoon we have a stellar lineup of wonderful folks. I'm going to quickly share my screen and just talk about the lineup for today and what we're going to do. Can everybody see my screen? Awesome. So first things first, what is Oakland Creates? Oakland Creates, it started in 2015 as a way to provide opportunities for Black and Brown creators, artists to showcase their work in a safe space that not only prioritizes African, Indigenous, and Latino culture, but that celebrates diversity and sought a fair exchange for creativity and artistic experimentation. Oakland Creates developed into a mini Zinefest comic fest, showcasing zines, art, and comics from new and emerging artists in the East Bay and Oakland area. Primarily giving space to traditionally underrepresented voices, Oakland Creates also gives space to creators who work to build a conscious, uplifting, and holistic community. And like I said, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna give you the safer space policy. I'll give you the lineup, and then we'll go ahead into exhibitor show and tell. Oakland Creates is committed to providing a safe space and inclusive environment for everyone, regardless of gender, gender identity, expression, sexual orientation, disability, physical appearance, body size, race, or religion. We will not tolerate harassment at Oakland Creates events, whether it's virtual or in person. Anyone violating the Safer Spaces policy may be sanctioned or expelled from the space or the event at the discretion of Oakland Creates Art, Comics, and Zine Fest organizer or volunteers. And so now I'm going to go over the lineup really quickly. And of course, I'll introduce everyone before their turn. So this was the morning group. This afternoon, we have Anna Zusman, Nicky Rodriguez, Yael Levy, Golden of Diasporan Savant Press, Breena and Lawrence of Laneha House Press, Maxi Rodriguez of Casuto Productions, James Hickson and Audra Pucha. I'm going to destroy your name. I'm so sorry, Audra. Puchalaski. And I believe we have Jeanette of Me Casitas Press instead of Signorina. And then I'll talk a little bit about my comics wrapping up. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to hand it off to Anna.
Hello, everybody. Good to see you all. So this is the time where we start talking about our work.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. So let me share my screen and I will begin. So hello, everybody. I am going to talk about my zines and art comics. Actually, am I sharing my screen?
Yes, you are.
Okay, excellent. So I got into zine making about 6 years ago when a friend of mine suggested that I compile my drawings about mermaids into an art book. And I had about 50 drawings at that point. I was making those drawings for about 7 years on and off. And what interested me about that topic was that mermaid is sort of like this essential outsider. And as an immigrant, this is definitely a topic that interests me. Also, as I started getting into the idea of mermaids being part of society, it got me into all kinds of interesting topics, such as medical experimentation, the way the society treats outsiders, discrimination, as well as many others. So it was important for me that each drawing tells its own story, purely visually without any verbal explanation, and that each story is open. So for example, on the upper left drawing, there is a woman staring on the merchild in a tank, but I deliberately obscured her legs with the dress so you don't know if it's a woman or a mermaid, and it's kind of up to you to decide. And so is it her pet? Is it her child? I wanted it to be open-ended. So the next zine I'm going to talk about is very different. So 3 years ago in 2017 was a big year in my life. I got a divorce, I got a new job, and after living in San Francisco for 10 years, I moved to rural Arkansas. And shortly after that, I got onto a dating site. And one thing that really surprised me about the dating site, like looking at men's profiles, was how unself-conscious they were about presenting themselves. Like women always think about how we present ourselves, how we look. We think about our backgrounds, the angle our picture is taken from. Guys, we're not thinking of that at all. And that kind of got me interested in, how they present themselves and why. And they started making drawings almost directly from their profiles. So on the left, that guy with a gun, I don't know why he has a gun. I don't know why he thought that would be a good idea. The guy on the right in a, messy bathroom with a stain on his t-shirt, taking a selfie again. That was a pretty common thing. I don't know why. So for a zine, I just took those pictures that I created and I included some information from their profiles. Here are a couple more. The guy on the right, favorite books, music, and food. He says that none of those things are important to him. I mean, I would wonder, like, what would you talk about in a date? But I don't know. So this actually became two of my most popular zines ever. I totally didn't expect it. It was my reaction to sort of the trauma of seeing all of those weird profiles, but that was interesting. So the last zine I'm going to talk about is my Mexico City zine. So in 2019, I went on my own to Mexico City with my sketchbook as my only traveling companion. And I love Mexico City. I think it's the best city in the world. It's full of art and culture. It has more museums than any other city in the world. And for me, having my sketchbook with me was sort of a way to process information and a way to kind of record my numerous impressions. So as you can see, I work on many different topics, typically in series. For me, it's like working in series and compiling them together into zines allows me to kind of understand a certain concept or subject matter better. Here is my contact information. My website is annazusman.com. You can purchase my zines on my MagCloud website. My username is Zusman. Or you can also follow me on Instagram at Chuda Yuda Publications. So that's pretty much it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Man, those were awesome. So next up, we have Nicky Rodriguez.
Awesome. So I'm not gonna screen share. I just have like all my zines collected over here to show everybody. Let me get them in order first. I've got like several of them, but I'll go over the most recent ones. So like at the start of the pandemic, like right before I got laid off from my job, I started working on this short comic that I titled Unwelcome Visitor. And it was kind of initially just about understanding and unpacking my feelings, just kind of like related to like depression and dread. And it was all like kind of like pre-pandemic stuff, but then it like ended up being about the pandemic. I was like, oh, there's like a lot here to talk about. But it was a very, like most of my scenes, it was like a very cathartic experience, but it's also been like one of my most recent kind of like better selling zines. I also did this short one kind of like talking about the same subject matter called Incertidumbre, which is Spanish for like uncertainty. I made this after I had to leave the Bay and move into my friend's house in Colorado. Also just talking about kind of like the uncertainty about everything that's happening and like how do we process that and deal with that. And it was kind of just like a very short comic that I did for SoulCon, the Black and Brown Comics Festival. I had it up in their gallery, just kind of talking about like the fleetingness of being in an uncertain time, but at the same time, like it feeling like it lasts forever. I also made the second issue of Viajera, and the Viajera series has been a way for me to explore kind of like homesickness and certain symbols from Puerto Rico every time I visit through like the photography I've taken. So this one starts off with like a little kind of like memory about walking from my house in Berkeley to the gym and seeing this old lady like growing bananas, and it just reminds me of like seeing the banana plants in Puerto Rico and they're like about to be harvested. So I just used like different pictures from my most recent trips in 2018 when I was there to go ahead and like break apart that little mini poem that I made from that memory and make it into a photo zine. And then my most recent one has been The Silence of Time. And this one, a lot of my zines had to deal with like memory and kind of like understanding how we like remember things, but also how we kind of like rehash our memories and things like that, or what triggers memory. And this one is just talking about specifically like when things are going on and you're like getting in your feelings and you kind of like long for being a kid again, where it feels like, or it felt like you had no responsibilities or like no concept of time. It was like you were just totally enjoying life and not stressed. So again, just kind of like going back to like everything that's going on right now, like what are these different ways in which we can like escape from kind of like all this tension and kind of like go back to our roots of like just enjoying the simple pleasures of life. So yeah, I'm like hoping to build more on that topic in terms of like continuing the Viajera series. And then also these are like two of my kind of like beginning zines that I did 2-ish years ago. And talking about the same subject matter of like kind of mental health and kind of figuring out like who you are and understanding your feelings and things like that. Those are series that I'm hoping to expand on this year when I finish work, because I'm just like super busy. But yeah, that's all I have. Thank you for your
so
nice comments,
much.
everybody. That's so nice.
Awesome work. And so up next we have Yael.
Should unmute myself. Hello. Hi. I was gonna do something different actually this time and just read instead of talk. Wait, I can't exit. How can I? Sorry. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna read from this comic. I always have a hard time in the Zoom to see my screen though. Here, there we go. This is a comic that actually I have it as a little zine, and it's in an anthology that I never got the copies for because all festivals got canceled. But it's a little comic about my name. It's called Hello, My Name Is. Just can call. So nice to meet you. What's your name? How many times have you heard this question? Literally every time you meet a person. What's your name? Yael. And yours? Huh. What's your American name though? My name makes it almost immediately clear that I'm not from around here. It's a little different every time. I think this was the first time I was asked so bluntly for my American name, with the built-in assumption that I even have another name. Yael, and you? Oh, so pretty. Tell me again. How you say it? Yael? Sometimes people are so excited they forget to tell me their name. Oh, how beautiful. Where are you from? Israel originally? Ooh, Shabbat Shalom. I knew Yael once. Are you Jewish? Yeah, sort of. Shalom. I'm like a quarter Jewish on my mom's side, but I don't speak Hebrew. I have cousins in a kibbutz and somewhere near Ra'anana, maybe. How do you spell that? Y-A-E-L. Oh, Yael. Almost. More like Yael. Oh, Yael. Yes, but with a Y. Ah, like yell. No. Latin people sometimes recognize it, but for the most part here in America, it's foreign and unusual. Y'all? Yale, like the university. No. Pronunciation can be hard for some Americans, so sometimes I feel lucky I actually do have an American name. It's easier. You just call me Leah if that's easier. It's like my second name. It's technically my first name. It's my grandfather's mother's name. Yael is the name my parents gave me. That's what the whole page looks like. But what does it mean? Well, it's an ibex. What now? You know, those mountain goats with the long horns? These guys? It's also a character from the Bible. I found out much too late in life that Superman's Kryptonian name is Kal-El, and that this somehow helps people pronounce my name. It may also explain why sometimes people call me Yalel. I never understood where that extra L came from. Oh, so Yael. Is that like of God? El is God, right? Nah, it's different spelling. It's a letter you don't really have in English. Ein. It's hard to explain. It's like a throat sound. If anything spiritual like that, maybe the root of the name can mean above, but that is sort of a stretch. She's just a character in the Bible, though her story is pretty badass. Yael's story is told in song by the prophetess Deborah, the only female judge mentioned in the Bible. Gonna kind of zoom through this page for the sake of time because the last one's more important. She basically murders the enemy. She seduces him, kills him. I'm skipping this one because time, because the last one is the most important. So where am I from? Depends how far you go. I live in California. I was born in Israel. My dad was also born in Israel. His parents came from Yemen. My mom was born in New York. Her dad came from Russia, Ukraine, and her mom's family came from Poland. So basically, I'm a mutt. Want to talk about my hair next? It was my American grandfather, Jerry, who insisted the name Leah be my first name. Jerry had been trying for years to have each grandchild born before me to be somehow named after his mother, Leah or Lillian. My mom says more than one of my cousins has a second name that starts with L. For my cousin Kendra, Leah is like her Hebrew name. Only I got it as a first name. Though it started out as a second name and ended up doubling as my American name. It's really important to me. I don't know, Daddy. We finally decided on Yael. It's fine. It's just a piece of paper. We'll call her Yael. I was actually Michal, even harder to pronounce, for a few days before my mom changed her mind. It's funny, Leah is a much more common name universally, really. Yet it is actually a piece of my name that sets me apart from thousands of people named Yael Levy. I don't know even one other Leah Yael Levy out there. So my grandpa's stubbornness actually helped make my name more unique. His stubbornness may have ultimately helped me out in more than one way. I can't read this because of the screen. That's awful. It's nice to have the choice to opt out if I'm not in the mood to talk about where I came from or how you spell my name. I can just be Leah. But if you ever really get to know me, you'll know I'm Yael. And these are all the places you can find me. So thank you for, I haven't actually read that out loud to anyone yet. So thank you for your time. This is my website. It's my full name, leahyaellevy.com. On Facebook and Instagram, you can find me as Yaelifly and on Twitter as Yael Levy. And I think that's it. I don't know how I did with the 5 minutes.
You did great. I love it. You guys have a little bit more than 5 minutes. Like I said, we're missing one person, but I love that comic. That's amazing. And tell us again where we can get it.
Over here on my shop. I can also I think I'm only sharing this, but I can share. Can I?
We'll put the link in
on
the
my
chat
website
for you.
And there's a bunch of other stuff on my website. I just, and then on the last slide here, there's Biscuit, which I didn't give any attention to, but there's a bunch of other Biscuit Beast stuff too. Some stickers and things. Check out the website.
Thank you. We'll probably come back around since we have a little extra time. So if you guys are prepared to share a secondary thing, but let's go through the first round. Next is Golden of Diasporan Savant Press. Welcome.
I don't know if it's doing it. Hi.
Hello.
I'm Golden. I am the head chef over at Diasporan Savant Press. And I got into making zines. Hi! I got into making zines probably what's it, 2020 now? What year is it? Maybe 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago. And what I really love about making zines is that there's a lot of freedom in zines to kind of create worlds that don't exist, to explore the world that we live in, to kind of shine light on things that we find interesting. And one of the things I love the most about zines particularly Zinefest, I remember going to the first Zinefest I ever did, participated in, and just the abundance of all of these idiosyncratic, autodidactic, just weirdos, people just are making whatever they want about whatever they want. And I just thought, this is a part of my group of people that I'm put on earth. So what do I like to make zines about? I like to make zines about, the name of my press is Diasporan Savant Press. And what that means to me is just kind of, I know there are many diasporas. I make mostly work that's kind of concerning with people of the African diaspora and Black people, kind of just in the world, particularly marginalized people who are also Black. So Black queer people, Black trans people, Black disabled people, Black, ill people, Black people in recovery, things like that. And I have a few zines with me today, and I just want to kind of show you some of them so you can have a sense of kind of the things that I make. The last thing I came out with was an anthology of writings by people who are Black non-binary people, talking about kind of just their experience. I just kind of left it open and was you can say whatever you want, really. I think whatever you have to say will be helpful for us all to hear. And it was a really beautiful compilation of writings about people from all over the world, talking about just how, they configure their lives and how the self-definition work that goes into them being a person of African descent kind of aids them in their crafting their person craft as a queer person, as a non-binary person. But so this zine right here, I had a little timer on my phone, so I'm trying to make sure I don't go over, but this zine right here, I don't know if you can see it because I got this thing. Here we go. The Audre Lorde harm reduction. A lot of my work is super informed by kind of the writings and philosophical worldviews of Black feminists, famous ones like Audre Lorde, who's obviously so famous at this point. It's kind of shocking how famous she is, but also people that are not famous, because I think that's the foundation of Black feminism and of womanism is people who are not famous. That's the root. And so I use a lot of Audre Lorde's quotes in here to kind of as a framework for harm reduction. Audre Lorde talks a lot about kind of self-care as political warfare, talks about kind of having a certain amount of integrity in one's healing, but talking about healing in a kind of not a politicized way where it's only about politics, but where it's a matter of recognizing that access to that healing space of mental space, financial resource to do so. All these things are not just kind of feelings that people have, but they're corporal realities that we live in. And so I really wanted to, I felt her work spoke a lot to thinking about how to reduce harm in your life. I'd like to read a quote from the zine, and then one of the questions, so it's full of prompts that kind of build on her quotes. So she says, to search for power within myself means I must be willing to move through being afraid to whatever lies beyond. If I look at my most vulnerable places and acknowledge the pain I have felt, I can remove the source of that pain from my enemy's arsenals. My history cannot be used to feather my enemy's arrows then, and that lessens their power over me. Nothing I accept about myself can be used against me to diminish me. And the prompt that goes along with that at the beginning of a set of prompt questions is that I wrote was building on the vulnerabilities that you were able to identify in the last question set. How can self-acceptance of your history and your vulnerability inoculate you even partially from the arrows of your enemies? And so that book is really just talking about how to use the strengths and assets that you have as a person of color, particularly as a Black person, but as any marginalized person trying to enact lessen harm in your life, and there's so much of it that's there for us, how you can use those strengths to help you reduce the harm in your life, whether that's harm from like bad relationships or harmful self-talk or substances, whatever that is. You know, we all know we have something that's there that we could manage a little better. So that's that. I don't know how much more time I have left. I think my little talk is saying about 1 minute. This is another zine I wrote. I don't know if you can see it, but it's called A Love Supreme, Meditating While Black. And this zine is also dope. I love the zine. This is about me being a meditation practitioner. I've been a meditation practitioner for about 15 years now. Meta meditation and also mindfulness meditation. Now, my home song is actually in Oakland, East Bay Meditation Center, even though I don't live in Oakland anymore. And there's a quote that I was talking about, Zenju Earthland Manuel, who is this person here, Black monk. And I was saying that when I first began practicing meta meditation, broadening loving kindness out to extend to all beings without distinction was very difficult. Loving kindness on that level is freedom, true freedom, and I hope it's a freedom I can attain someday, but it feels incomplete outside the presence of justice. And it's just going through and talking about all these different meditation practitioners, including lay people like Herbie Hancock and stuff like that. And then the last one I want to show you before my time is completely up is this zine right here called The God Within, Blackness Across the Diaspora. And this zine is really dope because to me, it's a really hard piece for me because it's really talking about kind of Black queer people in this non-American centric sense, non-Western sense. And just kind of, it's in the tradition of commonplace zines. So it's a lot of different quotes from different people that I put into the world so that people who read it, I'm not trying to say what you should think. You think what you want to think about it, and whatever that kind of ether speaks to you and says to you is what it means to you, But I'd like to end my time with a quote. And of course, it has two of my favorite people, Essex Hemphill and Marlon Riggs on it. But this is a quote from it, and it says, "Art is a tool," and I just want to share it with you as I leave now, but thank you for your time. It says, "Art is a tool necessary for new world creating and self-remaking. When conjured in the imaginative expanse of the Black creative mind, art has the power and capacity to transgress. Art can move us toward Black queer futures. Art can aid in liberating our personhoods. Art can help us dream new ways of relating, resisting, believing, learning, fucking, and being. Art can decolonize our minds and lead us into unafraid and uninhibited expressions of Blackness. Art can also heal." And that's a quote by Darnell L. Moore. Thank you so much for your time. You can find me on Instagram at d.s.press, and there's links from there to explore more of Golden World if you so choose. I wish you all much happiness and peace in the days to come. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. Love Marlon Riggs myself, so I'm glad to see you talking about the brother. All right, up next we have Breena and Lawrence from Laneha House.
Hi, can y'all hear us?
Yes, we can.
All right. Hi, my name is Breena Nunez.
And I'm Lawrence Lindell.
And we're Laneha House.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ha-has in our press's name. So we've been talking about creating a self-publishing house since 2019. Yeah. And this is literally just made out of a labor of love. And anything else you want to add, Lawrence?
Yeah, no, it's just the two of us being cute and stuff together, but also we're doing the Bailey's Anthology, which is the one project that's not from the both of us, even though we're included in it. And yeah, I'm excited. I just put out some of the zines we have up for pre-order that we print here. We staple here, we fold here, we do everything DIY style. And yeah, it's kind of scary and exciting. So we're doing these things called Laneha House, and basically they're, can y'all see that? Yeah, I think so.
Yep, we can see it.
All right, and so they're a combination of comics Breena and I have been doing since 2017, and some of them are online comics, others are comics that were never released, and just things that were made into zines. So the first one includes Work, which is a comic about voguing. I made a comic dedicated to Vogue Femme and the 5 Elements because it helped me out when I was very depressed. Breena did an Animal People comic set in Oakland. And then they also did a SF Beer and Coffee type of thing, and then Conversations with Ancestors. And so it's 8.5 by 11. Insides is black and white. And yeah, it's fun to print at home and staple and know that like that's the thing about zines is like we don't need no permission and we could do it ourselves. And so this is kind of what Laneha House is trying to prove to myself, that like, hey, remember you can print your own book. You don't gotta wait for nobody to print your book. So yeah, that's this one. Also Breena's comics and zines were printed at half this size, so it's nice to see it in the big format because Breena's awesome and they draw really well. And this one, what was this?
Oh my God, I think I made this as a mini zine, like an 8-page folding mini zine maybe 2 years ago too. And it's really nice to see these all blown up because I personally miss going out into the city and hanging out with everybody, like rest in peace, Bail Bob in the Mission. Yeah. Especially with us being in quarantine, it was kind of cathartic to even look back at some of these old drawings.
Yeah. And then we also have Breena's comic coming out.
That one. Sure. So Speak Africanismos is a collection of these inked illustrations inspired by all of these different words that are rooted in all of these different dichos or caliche, meaning like sayings in Salvadoran Spanish, or just Spanish that also is infused with Caribbean and Afro presence in Latin America. This was like an Inktober, but more Afro-diasporic approach to using the month of August to unify Afro-Salvadorans from across like the diaspora to create their own illustrations on all these different words that we didn't realize we were speaking. We were basically channeling African ancestors through the Spanish language. So that's available for pre-order. Yeah.
Yeah, I got buy nothing though, but if you can't tell, we're like super excited. It's nice to not feel like you have to rely on people who don't care about you to put your stuff out when you could do it with yourself and community. So I'm just really excited. And then I have a follow-up to a zine I made in 2017/18 called Couldn't Afford Therapy. So I made this. And this one's called Still Couldn't Afford Therapy. So I made this again. And it talks about how this year started off supposed to be like my year, like everybody else thought. And then being kind of like having to move from our house in Oakland and then the pandemic and just what that means for someone like me who has bipolar and PTSD and just trying to navigate that again. And zines and comics are the perfect way to do that. Black and white. Yeah. I think it's like 38 pages, something like that. I don't know. I just print them and hope people buy them. But yeah. And then we have a joint comic that we did in 2017 called One. And it's kind of an experimental one. And what it is you read the comic up and down. So my comic's on the left and Breena's is on the right.
I'll just bring it a little lower.
Lower?
Yeah.
Can you see?
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Yeah. So it's like you could read them simultaneously, but you could also read them individually depending on how you want. But it was just a way to try to play with the form of comics and what that could look like when you're doing a collaboration with your partner or friend, whatever. But this is my partner, so yeah, and it kind of holds up. It's very experimental, which I like because it's not as refined as some of my stuff can look. Breena can draw very well. So yeah.
I'm an okay drawer.
But yeah, that's what we up to. You know, designing books at the house and chilling, being Black and queer and just hanging out.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my favorite things about just creating this with Lawrence is that it's giving us a lot of space and a lot of room to take risks with our comics. I personally just feel like I haven't been doing enough of that this past year. So I'm looking forward to 2021 just to get more abstract and experimental.
And you can find us at lanehahouse.com, and Twitter, Instagram is lanehahouse. Thank you, Oakland Creates, especially Avi. You don't have to do this, but you do it, and you can see the love that you put into it just by everyone that you bring to Oakland Creates.
You're always doing a good job.
So we done.
Thank you. You got a comment from the YouTube chat. They said, you guys are so inspiring. This is awesome. And that's from Gold Pulp.
Gold Pulp.
So thank you guys so much. All right, up next, we have Maxi Rodriguez. All right, Maxi, do your thing.
Hi. So when you said we had extra time, I'm thinking, ooh, key.
Yes, use it all, girl.
So I try to get some comics done in time for Oakland, but yesterday I actually injured my hand, my drawing hand.
No.
So I will only present 3 comics. 2 of them are a sneak peek for Chubby Bunny Volume 4, and one of them is a children's comic I usually give out for free to kids at Zinefest and Comic-Con. So let me see if I can share my screen. Yeah. Let's see. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So here we go. Oh, let me get my keyboard. So I don't know why it does this. So here's a sneak peek of Chubby Bunny Comics, Volume 4. First one is Pet Name, or lack of. So in this one, Handsome Stallion, my partner, realized that he didn't have a pet name after being together for 9 years. So this is how the conversation happened. Me snoring. Hey babe, I have a concern. We've been together for almost 9 years now, and you haven't given me a pet name. Me all groggy. Finally got woken up in the middle of the night. You have a pet name. It's Derp Husband. Oh. He sinks into the covers. Good night, mi amor. I love you. This next one is called Snow Dance Ritual, and this one's actually dedicated to my niece and my nephew in Fort Campbell because they ran out of snow. So here's me summoning the snow, so they're happy. Snow dance attire. Prepare for my crummy singing. Let it snow, let it snow. Really needing that snowy glow. Let it snow, let it snow. Turn around and count to 3. I don't care if I go insane. I'm sorry. Bring on the snow. I really need that ice cream. I'm sorry, folks. The last one is Chibi Bunny Rules of Boundaries. And this little zine I actually created for my niece in Fort Campbell. And explains to kids about rules of consent and boundaries in ways that they can understand. My body, I make the rules as to who I hug and kiss. Mine. Hugs and kisses are for mommy and daddy only, and little brother too. No means no. I am the boss of me, and I can say no if I want to. Mini boss buttons. Safety net. I have 5 adults I trust that I can talk to if I don't feel good. Teacher number 1, teacher number 2, teacher number 3, mommy and daddy. No secret. If someone tells me to keep a secret that makes me feel bad, I will tell someone from my safety net. No. Tummy ache. If I feel scared or unsafe, I might sweat or get a tummy ache, and my heart will beat fast. I will tell an adult from my safety net. And this little message I put in the back for my niece to my chibi bunny. Hopefully this mini zine helps. Love, the chubby bunny. And here are the links to my social media. I forgot to put my website. I apologize in advance. You can find me on Instagram as Casuto Productions, on Facebook as well. Twitter is Chubby Bunny Art because they already took Casuto Productions. I do have a Ko-fi if you all would like to support me on Ko-fi, as I do offer digital goodies monthly for either monthly subscribers or one-time support. I also have a shop on Ko-fi, and Threadless, you can actually find a lot of these little cute drawings on t-shirts and masks. And yeah, thanks for enjoying these comics. Hopefully let me see. Hopefully you guys had fun.
Awesome, love it. And we put your website in the chat for YouTube.
Sure.
No, we did it for you. We put it in there for you.
Perfect.
So,
thank you.
Thank you for sharing. That's awesome stuff. I really love the zine for your niece. That's sweet.
Thank you.
All right, up next we have James Hickson and Audra Puchalaski. I'm so sorry, Audra. I know I jacked it.
No, it's great.
It's gonna be different every time, girl. So
it's fine. It's whatever. I'm Audra Puchalski, and my pronouns are she, her. I'm a poet, I'm a visual artist, and I am currently a Zoom performance artist because that's our life right now. I make mostly poetry zines. So I made my first poetry zine in 2017, and ever since then I've sort of done it as a yearly tradition. So I'm up to 4. Here they are. Mm-hmm. I'm asking for $1 to $3 each for these, and any Oakland Creates orders I'm going to donate to the Transgender, Gender Variant, and Intersex Justice Project. So okay, these are the 4. This is Heart Science. I call this my nature poem zine, but there's like not 1 but 2 poems about AOL Instant Messenger in this one. So I guess that's nature in my life. This is called Queer Hagiographies. I was raised Catholic, and now as an adult gay witch, I found myself asking myself, were all of the saints queer and or gender nonconforming? And it turns out, yes, absolutely. This is called My Crimes. And this is about like queer love and angst and all that whole struggle. And my newest one is, it's called The Hungry. And it's It's about all those 2020 things. So Zoom life, the election, the revolution, heaven and hell, and sexual moss. So very timely. And I'm just gonna finish by reading a poem from this. This year, we elect the sea. Fishing will be outlawed. Swimming will be a sacrament. Scuba divers, priestesses. The sea will draft us into a war on war. Will conscript thousands of us to plant trees. Will take public comment only via letters in bottles. The sea will rise in a towering wave over the White House and crush it and swallow its bones. The sea will rise in towering waves over Congress, the Supreme Court, the Pentagon, and Wall Street and crush them and swallow their bones. The sea will rise in towering waves over police stations and crush them and swallow their bones. The sea will send her sharks to collect her taxes, cops, millionaires, executives, and turfs. The sea will bear no flag, only a crown of foam, only a coral throne. She will cradle children in her gentle surf while their mothers are working. Then, seeing the tired mothers return, she will abolish work. She will drench and pulp the paper money, and in her deep volcanoes will melt down every last coin. Thank you. Thanks, Avi.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna go next. Sorry. My name's James. My pronouns are Zizier, and I have two zines that I put together this year. I just started drawing like 4 years ago. So this is my first time putting together any zines to share. My work is all personal. It's about my experience as a trans and genderqueer person and mental health and recovery. Basically, I document my life and my healing and the things that I love. So my partner, my friends, my dogs, Oakland, and nature is pretty much my themes. So yeah, I have these two zines. One is like a really short first chunk of a memoir that I have been or have like imagined working on for like, I don't know, probably my whole life, but like since I was like 15. Anyway, I have like a few pages of it now. And so this is like the first page of it. It starts on the day that I quit drinking almost 4 years ago, and sort of like exploring my personal archive and memory. And there's another image from it, the second half of it. These are all, they're short, they're just like 6 pages. But they're kind of fragments of my whole process since, well, 4 years now, I guess. My second zine is about my dog Tiny and me. It's a collection of some of my favorite drawings that I've done of him over the past 2 years. And so this is one from that, and another one that I did more recently. So one of the things I like about this one is that like I can see a real clear difference in my drawing over the years. So yeah, I share my art, or like my idea, I guess, is to share my art for people in my community, for healing, and all my zines are donation based, with funds going to orgs that support that mission for queer, trans, and BIPOC communities. So that's my Insta and my little form where you can order zines. Yeah, that's all. Thank you. Really happy to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you. So
Thanks.
awesome. Appreciate you so much. And next we have me, Casitas Pressed, and Jeanette is up next.
Hello. Okay, so I'm going to share screen. Okay. So you can see the screen, okay?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. Okay. So my name is Jeanette Alanis. My pronouns are she, her, they, them, and I oversee artist outreach for Mi Casita Press. And thank you again, Oakland Creates, for allowing us to be part of this event. So let's see. Mi Casita Press is a femme-led alternative DIY press that aims to empower and amplify voices of Q2POC and underrepresented communities through print. Mi Casita Press prints a variety of work, including journals, stickers, and apparel. In addition to zines, you can find all of this on our website and also check us out on Instagram for our virtual projects. So here we have so what we've been doing is experimenting, working on reproducing people's arts with digital print, risograph, and screen print to make work accessible to different audiences. So in this one, so we have this piece is called 7D Curanderex, parentheses light by Siete. It is originally micron on cardstock, but we'll be converting it to a screen printed piece. Okay. And then so that's one of our projects that we've been working on. And then another project is we have a current print sale on our website, Mi Casita Press Big Cartel. Our print sale is an opportunity to virtually show prints. We usually have at in-person events. So we're pushing to raise funds to publish new diverse work in 2021. Secondly, we've been doing virtual gatherings to showcase some of the artists we work with and connect with our communities. We started a series of artist talks and interviews. Our first event was with zinester Efren Castro, and they did an artist takeover on our Instagram and a live reading of their heartbreak stories. Then our most recent event was a Q&A with tattoo artist and zinester Siete. You can find the work of both artists on our website and Instagram. We also released an anthology zine called Nuestra Casita. It is a collection of curated works we received through artist call out from 2018 and 2019. And you can find it on our website for PDF download. So Nuestra Casita is the anthology of curated works. And in this anthology, it follows three themes. Claiming space. Claiming space is what was the theme we began of creating and claiming our own space. Like the creation of Mi Casita Press is when it sort of like took off and began from there. The second theme we've been resisting is a more of a reaction of how ourselves and communities have had to remain resilient even before 45 was elected. And the third theme is Hollering Woman, was inspired by Sandra Cisneros' book Hollering Women, and we just felt this connection to the title, but creating it up into a femme context. So I'm gonna read a couple poems from the anthology. This first one we have is by Pampi. Both the image and then the poem is by Pampi. So this one's called Breaking Ground. My body is no longer sacred in the toxic ways I've been taught, but it remains sacred. I don't plan to contribute to my ancestry. I will be the last in a line. I honor the eldest ancestors who were dreaming of me. I ask my eldest ancestors now to hold me and pet me, watch over my friends as we weep for all the beauty in the way our direct ancestors engaged with each other and the world that held them, as we weep for all the care those still living close to the earth put into stewarding places they move through so we might exist in happiness. I ask my eldest ancestors, have those that came after you moved too far away from what truly makes us happy? How do we help each other to heal from displacement, being lost too long, being careless, too greedy, being violated, being violent? Is it too late when the creatures we lean on for strength and inspiration are becoming extinct by our own hands? Too many. Nama. So I'm going to show you how I see my own beauty. I'm going to show you the beauty of the scampering, funny, always singing, tumbling, carefree child I used to be. I'm going to show you how I hope some of my lovers see me. I'm going to show you how my ancestors look in their nakedness, and I will love my beautiful self because I'm beautiful, and I know this too is fraught. Yet we must celebrate ourselves as we are. We must change what we consume so we can be giddy in the beauty of every person and every creature. Ourselves without doubting, without coveting, beauty that is skin deep, because the beauty of skin is that it holds us together. I'm not exotic. I'm not depressed. I'm not unstable. I'm truth speaking, heartbroken, truth seeking. I'm scared. I'm sacred. And as I am sacred, you are sacred, my loves. And then I'm gonna read this other poem that's also in the zine. And so this poem is by Yael Levy, and the visual is by Alejandro Castella. This one's called Unraveling. This ripple of God with which I have identified. This is my only resistance. Transparency lends itself so greatly, clinging so greatly to the small thread of the great weaving, I find myself dense, entangled in stories of genocide, guilt, and revenge. Freedom from resistance looks like, feels like, sounds like nothing. A sigh in the wind, and there, in that state, make a prayer for the earth and her peoples, free from the story that propels the resistance and the ripples of war. So I'm not sure if I have enough time. I have another poem, but it's longer.
You have time.
Yeah, okay. So this one's called Immigration Poem, and it's by Antoinetta Hensley. Do all lives matter? I pause to hear your case, asking for a group of kids locked up in several tents. Do all crimes matter? Because last I checked, kidnap, assault, and murder is an offense. You convict them for crossing the fence. What for your crimes, the rules are bent. Migrating first and murdering natives, which with their logic and sense makes it okay because that's the past tense. Quick, someone call the Amber Alert. There's thousands of kids in ICE vans that have gone missing, families splitting, more and more cells convert to tents that are overfilling. They say, don't worry, these people are getting hearings, but one by one, more bodies are disappearing. The New York Times and Huffington Post even expose the inhumane acts happening behind closed doors. They're medicating the kids with unknown pills, lining them up in rows. They're assaulting and raping the women. As he tag team his bro, they enter her some more, leaving her with more holes to battle later with her soul. Sorry, I should have gave a warning before reading this. It gets deep real fast when you're a dad okay, so it's warning about suicidal, so dedicates his whole life to work for his family in a new line. Then one day you're dragged, locked away in a cell and treated bad, to the point you take your life, you can't take him back. So now the family is left sad without a dad. Yeah, it gets deep real fast when you don't want to take accountability for the past, for Standing Rock, for Syria, for Black Lives, and all the other cases you corrupted to then mask. Your own wife showing up to the center with big bold letters saying, I really don't care, do you? How clever not trying to stop this whatsoever, when in fact through paper, your wife has an expired visa with overdue reminder letters. Who, truth be told, is only in it for the treasure, because it's clear to you morality is not to be measured. It's sick when your own president and first lady find pleasure in displaying their hate and racism with their planned endeavor. Their agenda raises pressure, making it far from better, keeping these families from ever being reunited together. So everyone who's with me chant this: morality over papers. For the love of God or nature, keeping kids jailed up in small containers makes us no different than the most evil players, like the Nazi invaders. So if you turn your head and look the other way, you chose the side of the oppressor. Don't say you're sending prayers, and don't act like you're better, because your privilege had you born where genocide was formed, leaving ancestors of roots to burn, to be torn and destroyed, to later on be mourned. Don't mean to bust your bubble, but in America, fighting for human rights is the biggest struggle. They create these invisible lines, and over time they build a wall. The size now doubled. They just love to see color people in a puzzle, dividing us from love to see us in a rubble. They make it so we don't see eye to eye with each other's struggle. But let me end it with this. ICE and the Trump administration are straight evil. The solution: protest, donate, and demand we deserve to be treated as equals. If you fall asleep, you're adding to their flame, which grows more lethal, because nothing is more deceitful than claiming a human being is illegal. If you truly want a world that's peaceful, you will stand for freedom and solidarity solidarity with our people. Okay, yeah, so sorry, I should have gave a warning about some of what that poem was going to be about. Sorry. Okay, and then so that's it with the poems. So right here is Being Unapologetically Fat and Fabulous and Free. That was one of the collaborating artists who submitted this work. It's also in our anthology. It's in the last page of it. And so I didn't get to put our website on here or Instagram name, but this is our logo right here, Mi Casita Press. And so it's a little house, an aloe plant. And yeah, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's see. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about my work. Let me share my screen. Let's see. Can everybody see my screen? You can? Okay,
I can see
great.
it.
Thank you. So I'm going to talk about my comic series, Nothing Good Ever Happens at 4 a.m. It's a zombie story based in Oakland, California. The story starts out with 4 main characters. The main characters and chapter 1, the first guy is Dre, and then you have Chan. Then you have, I call him Zuchi or Zachariah. And then we have DJ. They're 4 friends that get trapped in a corner liquor store. And like I said, the first character, his name is Dre, and I'm going to read his point of view from the story. You see, it all started out as just another Saturday. DJ was taking his brother Junebug to the park to play basketball. Zuchi was on his way to work after meeting up with me downtown. My homegirl Chan was texting me to see if I was still coming over to play Tech Fighter, and I was just at the library, as usual, working on extra credit assignment for AP History class. Oh, who am I? I'm Dre, or Drayton Gray Samuels III, suave, debonair, handsome, 16-year-old American history buff, varsity baseball player, only child, and all-around great guy. And this is my journal of events since all hell broke loose. But more about that later. And then another character in the comic book is Chan or Chandra, which is a girl who hangs around a bunch of guys. And so her backstory goes, nothing matters more to me than beating the high score. Not food, not water, not weed, not sex. Well, okay, maybe weed. Oh, and maybe beating the whole damn system. The game, it's all about beating the game. I love that shit. Winning, beating the game into submission, staying up my friends, and just having fun. Since I graduated high school last year, my mom expects me to work or go to school. Well, fuck that. It's just me and my mom, and sometimes my cousin Loose Change. And sometimes my best friend Z. I barely see my mom. She works so hard. Some weeks I don't see her I don't see her enough to know if she's dead or alive. And did I mention I love Mountain Dew, Pixie Sticks, ranch flavored Doritos, and pink poppers? I'm not sure what's in pink poppers, but never ever feed them to your pet rabbit. I no longer have a pet rabbit. Well, this is my journal. I'm writing down all that I can remember. Not sure if I've mixed up too many pink poppers and Mountain Dew, but I barely slept, and all I can remember is playing Tech Fighter with Loose Change, and well. Then the next character in the story. You can always find me in one of two places: at the park with Junebug, my little brother, or by the lake playing basketball. Some people call me Minister X or Rev because I like to pray. I go to mosque to pray, but what they don't know is if sometimes I clean up after, I can stay the night. Me and my brother. My name is David Jacobs, or DJ for short. My parents both died of AIDS when I was 9 and my brother was 3. I'm 18 now and he's all I have. This is my journal of what's happened on Saturday at the park. The park just down the street from my girl Chan's house. And then the next character. I love to dance. I love to skateboard. I love my friends. I work at the candy shop, a liquor store that sells mostly candy to neighborhood kids. I love my boss, the candy man. He's like a father to me. He's the only adult that even gave me a chance. My mom kicked me out when I was 12, and I'm 16 now, and I don't know my dad. I stay with my best friend Chandra. Okay, some people say I'm a runaway, but I'm just me, Zachariah Emerson Donahue. But you can call me Z or Zuchi. Skateboard kid who works at the candy shop who loves to turf and skate. This is me writing down what happened when my already out of control life, it just got a little bit more out of control. So those are from issue 1 of the comic book, and here are a few images from issue 1. So if you're familiar with Oakland, you'll recognize a few of the Oakland landmarks. And this is Dre when he's at the library and the librarian tells him to be quiet and she dies a horrible death. And then one of my upcoming issues, I did full color. And it's the first time I did full color comics, just experimenting with color. And again, different landmarks from Oakland. And just what happens in the comic. And I really like to focus on a couple characters in each issue. Right now, I'm working on issue number 7. This is from issue 3. And just kind of figuring out what I want to use. Traditional color, I used watercolor to color this. But yeah, that is issue 3. This is from issue 4. So I'm going to stop sharing and then talk about which I make per zines. This one's called Triggered. And this is everyday reaction to previous trauma. And it's about navigating different trauma, different things, microaggressions, racial bias, and at work, at school. And so it talks a little bit about identity and just some of the things that happen, like medical discrimination, things that have happened to me. And then how to administer self-care as well. And some of the ways to recognize PTSD and how to talk about racism. How to take care of yourself. And then I also paint and draw. I have a few postcards. So there's Octavia Butler postcards. I have Toni Morrison postcards. And then Malcolm X, ink drawing. And then Jay Dilla postcard. And let's see. Also have James Baldwin. And these are all available on my website, storm1, stormone.etsy.com. Marsha P. Johnson. And then just random people that I know that I have drawn. And that is it for me. Like I said, you can find me on Etsy at storm1.etsy.com. You can find me at Nothing Good at 4 on Instagram and Twitter. And then also Oakland Creates on Instagram and Twitter. But yeah, thanks for joining me. I appreciate you guys all coming out. I did want to sort of see if there are questions in the chat. Let's see. I did have questions for everyone. Sort of same question I asked the morning group. If you have projects going on in 2021 or you're finishing up or what you'd like to see come to fruition for the next year. I said that I really want to be able to do in-person Zinefest again. I know it's probably not going to happen until late spring, summer, maybe even autumn. But just kind of go around. You can volunteer to go, or I will pick somebody. But yeah, what are your plans for 2021, and what projects are you working on that you want to announce? Who wants to go first? Anybody?
I can go first. Okay. So for the next year, like right now, I'm just like really busy with work. So I kind of like put all my personal stuff on the side, and I was like really set on making like 5 new zines this year, and I made 2. So I want to get to those other 3 and kind of like continue the series that I have going on with my perzines. I also wrote a little horror comic, so I want to like draw that out and then code a website for it and host it. So that way I have a new web comic and just kind of spend some time working on my own personal stuff and just making pitches, getting all my stories together. They're just focusing on me for a while.
Awesome. Anyone else?
I can go next.
Awesome.
So next year, I really hope that at some point we'll be able to have in-person Zinefest. I really this is very nice and this is going great, but I really miss like actually seeing people and touching the zines and like going through them. I'm going to be teaching zine making class in the fall. I really hope that we can have a zine exchange at the end of each class, so that would be exciting. As far as my personal artwork, I haven't been making zines lately, though honestly, I don't know what's going to become a zine because I'm certainly making series of drawings. So I just learned 3D modeling lately, and I've been making 3D models and using that as a rough draft for my drawings on top of it. So that was kind of an interesting journey, like the surreal drawings that I've been doing, which I feel that the only way to reflect the current situation is like surrealism. So yeah, that's about it.
Thank you. Who would like to go next? Anyone? Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just struggling to unmute myself.
No worries.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to in-person events too. Although I do appreciate, like, from an accessibility standpoint, everything being moved to Zoom. Like, a lot of people are being able to attend way more things than they ever could have before. So I kind of hope that we keep like some of the Zoom-ness in the future, so that I can keep going to like readings in Miami and everything like that. Right now I'm trying to finish a quilt. That's just what's happening.
Nice.
That's what's happening. Should I go?
Do you want to?
Yeah. I'm hoping. I feel like now that I made my first zines and I know, like, I have a little format and a template that I know how to work with. I'm hoping to be able to do more of my memoir drawings moving forward.
Sweet. Anyone else?
I can go.
Thank you.
I think in the zine world, I'm hoping I can come out with a volume 2 of kind of just more poetry and submissions from like Black non-binary people. And I also am working on another project that's all of more poetry, basically artwork, anything people want to contribute, but basically writings from people of color, queer trans people of color, about kind of exploring recovery or harm reduction outside of like a 12-step framework. I feel like I'm just like meeting so many people all the time through my own work that are looking for like healing modalities that are really complemented and enhanced by like cultural practices, ancestral practices, and things like that. And so I'm really looking forward to hopefully being able to get that going and put it together. I've got a lot of people interested. But then also, it would be so sweet to, go to a fest in person and meet people and talk to people about it. But I mean, if I can't do that, hopefully I can the work continues regardless. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, and anyone?
I guess we can go.
Okay.
Go.
Nice.
I really want to. We already talked about what we got, but the Baileys, that's kind of the main thing I'm looking forward to, because I've been getting some of the comics in already, and it's amazing how many people are not only in the Baileys, but what they're doing with the single page it's phenomenal. Avi's in the Baileys, Nicky's in the Baileys, Yael, Breena. So like, it's just a lot of people who've already presented. You'll get to see more of their work, and then all the money from the magazine goes to the queer and cartoonists of color community here in the Bay Area. So I'm pretty excited about that. Breena? No? Yeah.
I think I already said what I'm excited for next year. Just doing more experimental comics, especially doing more stuff with like giving myself more an excuse to draw Oakland and San Francisco, because I'm homesick for both of those places, and seeing everybody over there in person. I'm really hoping for this vaccine because I miss y'all so much. I'm sending everyone a virtual hug right now as we speak. That's it.
Thank you. So anyone else?
Oh, I can go next.
Okay.
So with Mi Casita Press, we're hoping to do more virtual events, and also probably, we would like for physical events, zine events, but hopefully that happens. We'll see. And then for myself, I'm hoping to make more zines. I only have like one, and I have a second one I'm working on. So that's it. Oh, and then also for Mi Casita Press, we're hoping to do more collaboration projects, like zines with other artists. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Did anyone else want to go? Yael, you want to go? Unmute yourself,
Yes.
please.
Turn the light on. The light's like really bright right here. I don't know. It's funny because I always use the Zinefest as an excuse, like as a deadline to when I actually make the zine. So I haven't really made any new zines this year. I made some comics, but I never printed them because why? So I don't know. And I do have this, like, you know, the epic work in progress. I'm actually kind of hoping to put work into early in 2021, kind of taking a little bit less teaching work to make space for that. Is the one thing. And the other thing is I'm painting a mural right now, and it keeps reminding me how much I love painting. I think I'm going to try and do more physical, large scale painting, because that's another kind of easy way to share with people that doesn't involve giving them something. I don't know. Probably more online teaching because that's what life is right now.
Awesome. So last but not least, before we wrap up, I promised people I'd give away a copy of Drawing Power. So I'll sign it, and we just have one last, I guess it's 80s, 90s trivia question. So if you're familiar with movies from, I guess this has got to be the 80s. So kind of also have to know Black pop culture too. So that's why this one's a like a triple star difficulty. So name the legendary actor comedian who starred with Eddie Murphy in the 1989 movie Harlem Nights. He was previously a stand-up comedian. He had his own TV show. His name sounds like a small forest critter. His real life name, comedian name, sounds like a small forest critter. He had his own TV show. He was in Harlem Nights with Eddie Murphy. Anybody? Anybody watch Harlem Nights? Anybody? Anybody watch? Nope, that's not right. My girl Golden. Close. 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 Murphy, you're close. Ah, you got it, Laneha House. You got it. So I know you probably already have a copy of this, but I will send you another one. Red Fox. Give it to anyone I want. You guys name who you want if you guys already have a copy. Who do you want to give it to, Laneha House? Or you can give it away for Christmas.
I feel like you need to like do a raise of hand of who doesn't have a copy in this circle.
Mm-hmm.
Who, you don't have a copy and
Who doesn't have a copy?
See, there's only 3.
So
Okay.
pick. Yeah, I gotta pick. Gotta pick. Draw names or something. Oh, you Golden doesn't have it either.
Mr. Breena, use your book.
Okay. Golden. You get
all right, Golden. So just shoot me your details, DM me your details, and I'll mail this to you. Awesome, you guys. This has been so wonderful. And I just want to wrap up everything with just sort of just kind of give an honor to what Shani has been doing with her zine and Hippolyta. I know she's inspired by Lovecraft character who named themselves. And so I just want to go around and name ourselves. I'll start off by naming myself. So I will name myself Seeker of Truth. I will name myself Courage. I will name myself Bravery. I will name myself Bridger of Gaps, Bridge Builder, Sister. I name myself Daughter. I name myself Friend. I name myself Peacemaker. And so anyone can go next.
I name myself Lord of Mischief, Peace, Wonder, Gratitude, Dream Seeker, I name myself Seed, Wild Seed. I name myself Wise Child. I name myself Loyal Child. I name myself Learner. I name myself Grower. I name myself Healer.
Awesome. Anyone next? Nikki, you want to go?
Yeah, sure. I was just like thinking. I name myself Follower of Dreams. I name myself Teacher. I name myself Answer Seeker. I name myself sorry, my brain, Continuous Learner and Grower. I name myself Loyal Sister. Yeah.
Sweet. Who else would like to go next? How about you, James?
I'm sorry, it's really hard to think on the spot for me. But I love this prompt. But I definitely, I guess in the spirit of this, like continual learner, just like, I don't know, lover, but that sounds weird, but that's what I want to say. So yeah.
Awesome. That's real. Who wants to go next?
Yeah.
I'll go. I realize I'm unmuted too.
Okay.
But then I'll mute myself when I'm done. I do like this prompt. I name myself Love. I name myself Flow. I name myself Asker of Questions and Balancer of Extremes. And I don't know, Lover of Color and Nature.
Awesome.
And yeah, I can stop. I can like I can keep going.
I know. I can keep going too. Thank you so much.
That's good.
Who'd like to go next? Anyone? How about Anna?
Okay, I just unmuted myself. So I'm really bad with words. I just have three. I name myself Maker of Lines, Seer of Patterns, and Persistent.
Awesome. Anyone else before I call on someone? You want to volunteer?
We can go.
Okay, cool.
Let's see. I name myself wife, name myself life partner. I name myself sibling to all BIPOC kin, all Black kin, Indigenous kin. I name myself defier of borders, nation states, and boundaries. I name myself light. I name myself teacher. I name myself water. Name myself gardener and caretaker.
Beautiful. Anyone else? You want to go, Lawrence?
I guess I should. I name myself being of intention, and a being of choice and not obligation.
That's it. I love it. And Maxie, you want to go? Yes, you.
Okay. I'm thinking. Oh my god, this is making me think. I guess I would name myself Seeker of Knowledge, lover of art, deserving of love and respect, and I guess the last one, without sounding too conceited, and I hope I don't, beautiful.
No, you are. You are. And Jeanette?
I would name myself Healer and name myself Dream.
Sweet. Did you want to go, Audra?
Sure. I name myself Brave, and I name myself, what is the name for this? Puller down from the ether, the material of magic.
Cool. Murphy, did you want to go again? Did you want to go in this group? My
Oh no, I'm just actually enjoying and feeling the vibe right now. I'm good. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you for helping out too in the chat. I appreciate you. I appreciate you too, James, for helping out. And go ahead, Maxie.
I didn't get a chance to share my upcoming stuff.
Go right ahead. I'm sorry about that.
No problem. I actually have 3 books that I'm working on. Plus Size Girl Magic Volume 3, Chubby Bunny Volume 4, and the third one is Chronicles of a Succubus. Would not recommend it for children because it's super rated R. I'm also hoping to join anthologies, so if there's any out there, feel free to shoot them my way. I'm planning to start a YouTube channel where everyone, because a lot of people are asking me how I create my work, and I keep telling them, you guys don't want to see it because, ooh, I'm fake. I fake it. But everyone keeps insisting, so I'm most likely, hopefully, launch my YouTube channel by the end of summer. Hopefully. Crossing my fingers.
Awesome. I definitely want to subscribe to that. All right.
Oh, sorry.
Did you have more? No, go right ahead.
I'm also hoping to start a carrot cake sticker club for my Ko-fi supporters. So
nice.
Anyone would like to subscribe monthly or maybe one-time support, I'm hoping to launch that soon so that way people can get some exclusive stickers and stuff and maybe some art goodies. But it's still in the works. So yeah.
Awesome.
That's about it. Thanks, Savy.
Thank you. Atra, did you have something you want to share?
I was just raising my hand for the exclusive stickers.
Right? I want that too. All right, this has been awesome. Thank you guys from the morning group, everybody that donated, everyone that's been buying merch. I truly, truly am blessed and appreciate all of your generosity and all the kind words. You guys, this would not have happened if it wasn't for you guys, everybody in the morning group as well. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. And so we're just going to wrap up unless anyone else has something they'd like to share. Again, this has been amazing, and I'm so... Go ahead.
Thank you, Levy, for doing all this and making all this happen. You are awesome.
Thank you. This has been fun, and man, we have to do more of this. This is what it's about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, see you guys. Hope to see you in person.
Bye, Evie.
Bye.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye. Woo!
Thank you.